Well, as the trail register just indicated, we are in the Pharaoh Lake Wilderness. This is in upstate New York at the east central part of the Adirondacks. Fairly low elevation here. It gets up to about 2,500 feet. We're at about half that right now. And I'm hiking back to a few ponds today, probably just one pond today. I'm short on time, had to drive up this morning. But it's a beautiful day to explore a little bit of the Pharaoh Lake Wilderness, and I'll be doing more in the next 2.5 days, at least some of that time. There's lots of hiking to be had in this area, and this wilderness has plenty of ponds and several peaks that you can explore. There's at least 24 ponds back here that are showing up on the map. This is the outlet to Crane Pond here, and Goose Pond also drains down this brook. And we're going to go explore Goose Pond in the next few minutes. It's about 1.5 miles from the trail register that I just signed in at. And that would be at the northwest corner of the Pharaoh Lake Wilderness, which covers a huge area between Schroon Lake, the south end of Lake Champlain, and then all of Lake George is to our east. More of Lake George than this wilderness area encompasses. As you can see on this map, it's just dotted with lean-tos. Great place to backcountry camp. Several peaks with views, including Pharaoh Mountain itself, right there. And one I haven't done is Treadway Mountain. That's what I'm thinking of trying to do this weekend. I've done Pharaoh about 12 years ago, and I might do it again, but I think I'm going to aim for Treadway. It has good views as well, and one I haven't done. So we started right here at the Crane Pond parking area at the east end of Crane Pond Road, and I think it looks like Alder Creek is the name of this little brook coming down the mountain here. We're on trail number 12 right now, and we're going to be heading out trail 13 to Goose Pond. There's supposed to be fisherman trails around the pond we could take, and even some unofficial trails up some of the knobs around Goose Pond. If I have a little extra time today, I might go out to Alder Pond and Crane Pond. But there'll be plenty more for other days this week and weekend. So let's go back and see what this Pharaoh Lakes Wilderness has to offer us. And as that last sign indicated, we're on the Yellow Blaze Trail back to Goose Pond. This right here is the outlet to Alder Pond, and above that is Crane Pond. So you can get a little bit of a look at Alder Pond right here. It's pretty shallow. It does appear to be natural and not man-made. I'll zoom in on a little bit on Alder Pond. Looks like the beavers have been busy over there, or something has got the channel blocked a little. Right there. I'll keep recording these wetlands and some of the flowers that are blooming in late summer here. And just upstream from that footbridge we just came across, we can see the end or the outlet of Alder Pond right here. And yes, there is a beaver dam there. Raised it up a little bit. Kind of interesting. Got some cardinal flower along this stream. So usually cardinal flower is found in moist soils along slow-moving streams or lakes. Even mountain streams. As long as it's getting enough sun and the soil stays moist, you can find it there too. This is where we often find it. And I'll have to add the name of this fern when I get back where internet will work, because I only see it when I hike in the summer and only in certain habitats. And as I've mentioned with wildflowers, 11 months is a long time to remember the name of something you don't see all the time, so I'll have to look it up. But this type of fern with a much larger and more widely spaced foliage is common along these wetlands. Well, these hemlock trees are doing a great job of keeping me in the shade today on a day that's getting increasingly warm and humid. Mid-80s, and the humidity's on the way up. So lots of hemlock on this trail. It's pretty much been in view the whole hike. And when you have dense hemlock overhead, you don't get a lot of undergrowth, just a few ferns here. Partly because of the shade, partly because the needles decay and form a very acid soil that's not to the liking of a lot of plants. But there are some ferns here, and where there's more sun you'll find more of them. So the hemlocks are dying, or at least they're not as healthy in lower elevations and warmer locations in the Northeast. But we're up, you know, over 1,000 feet in an area where it commonly gets to minus 30 in the wintertime, and can get a lot colder than that to the areas west of here around Tupper Lake, Old Forge, Cranberry Lake. Minus 50 has been recorded out that way. So the good news is if you get weather that cold, it limits how much damage the hemlock woolly adelgid can do to these hemlock forests. So this still looks fairly healthy. It looks like most of the trees are alive and still have their foliage. And probably about a half-hour walk from the trailhead, and maybe a 10-minute walk from Alder Pond. We do come to Goose Pond. It's never steep. It's a little rocky, but nothing extreme. I'll tell you what, you could almost carry a boat out here if you wanted to. You can actually drive a four-wheel drive road, four-wheel drive Jeep road to Alder Pond, and then you'd have to carry a lighter weight boat out here. I think it could be done. And it's a beautiful pond, rocky. So this is probably not a kettle hole, just a depression in the stony, cobbly bedrock around here that's filled with water. Got bedrock right to the edge here, and bedrock ledges around the edge. I might go try to check some of them out. I got about 45 minutes to explore this pond before I want to head back, set up camp for the weekend. So this is all natural ponds out here. And just this is, you think of the Adirondacks, you think of the high peaks and the views and the ruggedness, but this is also a big part of what the Adirondacks is about. Beautiful ponds and wetlands and areas where you can go from one pond to the other, especially in the western Adirondacks. Canoe trails that go through many, many large wilderness areas with just short carries between them. So this is Goose Pond. I'm going to zoom in on Pharaoh Mountain. I think that's about 1,000 feet higher than where we're standing here. I've been up there. I wasn't recording videos at the time, just doing photography. But from up there you can clearly see the high peaks to your northwest. You can see the rest of the Pharaoh Lakes wilderness around you. Lake Champlain to your east. And a lot of the southern Adirondacks. But surprisingly, you can't see Lake George, even though you're well above it. Because Lake George is only 300 feet above sea level, and it's sunk down in a geological crack that is surrounded by taller mountains. So Lake George is only visible from those mountains immediately around it and the north and south, looking down the grain of those cracks. And the Green Mountains are visible from up there too, to your east. Here's an official campsite a little further beyond where you first see the pond. Looks like they have a privy back here off in the distance, so they don't want anybody camping too close to the water or using the bathroom too close to the water for obvious reasons. This is actually an L-shaped pond. It's got a west wing here, and then what we looked at was the kind of the north wing. It was coming north from the center of the pond, which is right in front of us. Now we've got an even better view of this Pharaoh mountain here. Right there. Just a trickle coming out of this pond right now. This is the outlet, at least one of the outlets. So it has been dry in a lot of places in the Northeast this summer, and yes, catastrophic flooding has made the news as well, but it's been very localized. Widespread rains that cover not just townships but counties have been rare. So things are a little low. The upside of that is there's no bugs. It's kind of late in the bug season anyways, but if it stays wet, the mosquitoes will reproduce and start a whole new crop in the late summer. I've been eaten alive in September during really wet late summer periods. Another great view of Pharaoh Mountain here. This pond's just getting prettier as I go around the northwest limb of it. I sure am glad I took a couple hours before setting up camp for the weekend to do some exploring. This may be the clearest day of the 4 days I've got, and you don't have to hike far or climb a lot to get some really pretty stuff. We'll keep exploring the northwest corner of this Goose Pond. I do need to turn around and get camp set up for the night. Days are getting a little shorter now. Can't be quite as liberal in my time in the woods. I need time to set up the tent. So if you want a backpack, beginner backpacker, don't want to carry the weight too far but want to get used to backpacking and camping away from modern facilities, this is a good place. And plenty of primitive campsites along this northwest shore. I'm not going to go around the whole pond because of the time of day. It's almost 4:30 already. So let's take one last look and then I'm going to wrap it up. I'll add more videos from this Pharaoh Lake wilderness as long as I get the weather the next few days to go back there. There's a chance of showers and even a thunderstorm tomorrow, and then just showers the next 2 days, but no big washout. The heaviest rain is supposed to come second half of the day tomorrow and then overnight, Sunday night. So wow, what a great place just to stretch my legs after driving up and to get my fill of what the Adirondacks have to offer.